I imagine there's not a whole lot of motivation needed from your side of things to get these guys fired up.
You should need to be motivated. I mean, it's really cool, as a player having an opportunity to be undefeated this late in the season and host the number one team in the country and defending national championship. You put those two together, it's pretty cool. So, our guys will be excited about it. Our challenge will be to make sure we find an equilibrium there where our enthusiasm isn't something that ends up being a negative instead of a positive.
Do you have to balance sort of like the appreciation of the moment and just a desire to win? Like, do you want your guys to take it in and say, like, this is something that we haven't had here at Creighton before? Like, let's enjoy this setting.
Absolutely. Actually, the thought for the day in practice yesterday was not to let the pressure become so great that you forget about the pleasure. And obviously we're playing. There's a lot on the line for this game, but there's a lot on the line not only because of what Villanova's accomplished, but because of what we've accomplished to this point. So don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of why this is such a big game. It's a big game because Villanova's done some great things, but so has Creighton. So make sure you take a look in the mirror, maybe pat yourself on the back quick and for a job well done so far, and then let's go out and let the chips fall where they may and compete our tails off and see if it's good enough.
You said you haven't watched any Villanova prior to Seton Hall. How much sleep have you gotten since Wednesday?
I'm a little sleep deprived right now, but that's okay. It's hard to sleep anyway. They're really talented, and like I said in the post game the other night, to be the national champion, defending national championship champion, and have that target on your back for every game you play. Everybody wants a shot at you, and you're going to get their best shot, and to still be undefeated on December 31st is really a credit to their program. And there's still a lot of pieces back from that national championship team, but they're a different team. Without Arcidiacono, without Uchefu inside, they play a little bit differently, but it's as fundamentally sound of a college basketball team as you'll ever see. And if you didn't have to play against them, you'd love watching them play. But when you have to prepare for them, that's a little problematic and not quite as much fun.
How do you prepare for a guy like Josh Hart to the point where you probably can't stop him, but to the point where you can maybe be successful enough?
I think with Villanova, the key is, try to take away the easy ones. They're going to make enough tough ones. They shoot that intermediate jump shot better than anybody in the country. Stopping from 17 feet to 10 feet. Teams just don't shoot it as well as they do. Usually that's a shot you're trying to make your opponent take because it's a two-point shot. It's on the move. You're not putting them on a free throw line. They're not getting 3 points for the shot. But they made 80% of those shots against us in the second half here last year. So this is just a really good basketball team. I don't think you totally stop them. I think you try to eliminate as much easy stuff as you possibly can and make them work for it. And let's be honest, we're not winning this game 52 to 51. We're going to have to score some points.
You mentioned Arcidiacono being gone. I guess, how different is this game for Mo? Is it more different because of their personnel or the personnel Mo has around him?
I think a combination of the two. Jalen Brunson's still a really, really talented player and a very good point guard. Hopefully Maurice has now played against his hometown team a couple times, so maybe that's wearing off a little bit. But he's got some pieces around him he didn't have last year. And, I thought the Seton Hall game was his best game of the year in terms of the physicality of their defense, what they attempted to do to take him out of the game, and how he made him pay for their defensive techniques. And he didn't turn the basketball over. So, that's going to be critical tomorrow because, again, if you allow Villanova to turn you over, that's leading to easy baskets, and that's what we have to take away.
When you think about this roster, it seems like you have a lot of guys like Mo who are just kind of gamers. Like, the bigger the game, they don't shy away from that. I mean, is that something that is unique about this group from top to bottom?
Well, it starts with Maurice because he's, as you all know, he's very confident. But he's worked hard, as I've said before, to back some of that up. Talk is cheap unless you put the work in to back it up, and he's done that. And I think we take on his personality a little bit that we're not afraid of anybody. And we'll step out there and compete toe to toe. And some nights it's going to be good enough. Sometimes some nights it's not. Basketball is a little bit of a fickle game. This is a confident group, and they've remained relatively focused. and they've remained unselfish. And if we're going to continue to play like we've been playing, that has to be a constant.
Villanova's gonna want you guys. You know, they like the shot fake, they like the jab step. You know, all those things where you're poking the ball away or trying to block shots. How do you balance making sure your team is fundamentally sound versus still being aggressive enough to make those plays?
Well, again, it's if you're playing against a fundamentally sound offensive team, the only way to combat that is to be a fundamentally sound defensive team. And you know, we've taken more chances this year than we have in the past, and as a result of that, we forced more turnovers and created some offense. Villanova's not going to give you a lot of opportunities to take it from them. So our defense has to be more like we have to be in the right spots, and if they give it to us, so be it. Otherwise, we got to make sure they take a tough shot and they're not standing on the free throw line for 40 minutes. So, you know, that was a big part of our practice yesterday, is working on the fundamental parts of positioning and guarding the ball with discipline, and we'll work on that again today.
You see the towels. You've had it circled for a while. At least a lot of the fans have. Can you put yourself in this place tomorrow about this time?
Not yet. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be electric. And, you know, Wednesday night was great for the opener against Seton Hall. And, you know, I can just, it's going to be incredible in here tomorrow. And, you know, and like I think I mentioned it after the game. In a lot of ways, a game like this is, you know, we've made some decisions as a department and as an institution the last 4 years to make changes in the direction that we've gone and moving to the Big East. And along with those changes, we've asked a lot of our supporters to make changes in their level of giving and in their level of support. And people have been on board to do that. And because they've done that, we're in a position to have this game. So, you know, obviously my team's done a lot. My staff's been incredible. But without our administration, without our support, we're not talking about an undefeated versus undefeated tomorrow.
It's excited just because we kind of circled it as, you know, the goal, you know, kind of coming in the year, you know, Nova's going to be undefeated or close to that point around this time. So, you know, you have a goal to get to that point to match up with them at the same time, at the same place, undefeated, and, you know, to kind of measure yourself against them, a returning national champion. It's a good test for us to see where we are.
You know, for them, they kind of had to struggle through their first round, their first, you know, game of conference play. You guys had a tough matchup that, you know, you won a little bit more comfortably. Does that stuff affect anything going into this game, or does it start over, I guess?
No, not really. I mean, I guess if you want to kind of look at it from their perspective, they are probably eager to get back on the court to, you know, to right that ship. Because that was a good game, you know, by DePaul, and a good game by them to stay tough and, you know, to battle through it and find a way to win. And then us, we just followed our game plan, and it just goes back to what Coach Mack always preaches to. Just follow the game plan, and, you know, things will take care of itself if you do what you're supposed to do.
You said this would be a big game no matter who you play, but the fact that these guys are from your backyard, does that add any extra special?
You know, not really much this year. It's just another game. I'm more so worried about the team than I was last year, of just, you know, breaking ice and finally get to play against them. And a team I've always wanted to, you know, play for growing up. And, you know, now that I'm here, you know, I'm older now. I'm more set on what I want to do, and I just want to win. So I'm going to go out and play against them just like I did against Seton Hall and against UMBC and against even Buffalo or all the teams we played against before.
In the summer, do you come home and?
No, I don't go home much. It's really hard for me to get a gym. So I usually stay here at school. It's always a lot of work to get done. You know, we got the young guys coming in, and I like that unlimited access to the gym, so I normally stay.
You know, Max said he didn't watch any Villanova prior to, you know, getting through Seton Hall. How much did you guys avoid, you know, seeing them on FS1 and things like that?
I mean, I watch a lot already. I watch Synergy a lot. I like Josh Hart's game, so I watch him on Synergy and, you know, try to see what he's going to do to be effective. You know, I watch Damon Brunsford now. More so that we're about to play them the last couple of days. I've been really watching that stuff. But before, you know, we just try to, you know, follow the game that we have next. But they're a fun team to watch because, you know, as you are playing college, you still remember that you were fans growing up, and you like seeing those big-time teams play. And watching them play is always good sometimes.
What about Brunson? That should be a nice little matchup.
Yeah, he just plays hard, and he's poised, and he's smart. He has a lot of shot fakes, and he can finish, and he can shoot. So, and he's smart, and, you know, he doesn't really get sped up. So you just gotta try to, you know, make him do something uncomfortably that he really doesn't like to do.
What stands out about this Nova team? What makes them so solid? Why have they been able to manage it?
They're just really fundamental. They if you watch, they really run their stuff all the way through, and they know who they want to go to, and those guys are really confident when their numbers are called. means that their teammates are really pushing them to shoot, and the coaches are really giving them confidence as well. And they just run all this stuff, and they really stick together on defense. You don't really ever see them fighting or arguing with each other. They're really on the same page, and they've been having some inspiration with Phil Booth playing. So just like we had without Zach. So it's we kind of feel where they're coming from, just like they can understand our pain also.
Shot fake you probably isn't the greatest nickname in the world, but I mean, they do get people off their feet quite a bit. How important is the sound defensive fundamentals going to be tomorrow?
I think it's important, one, to keep them out of foul, to keep us out of foul trouble, because that also will stop the aggressiveness of our closeouts, our ability to play defense, which will open up the shot for them, which I think they do well. They get you in foul trouble early, so you can't play as aggressive defense. So now those closeouts are kind of short for a great team like them, and we got to just sit down and guard your dribble. And this is all about pride right here. This is the mother load right now. We're both 13-0. It's all or nothing now. It's early, but it's a test to see how much fight you have early.
Hey, Mo, as players, how much do you guys talk about or just recognize sort of the historical significance of what you've accomplished? I mean, when you look at it, it's like the best start in 70 years. It's one of, I don't know, have they had a top 10 matchup here? Yeah, I mean, like that kind of stuff, that you've sort of elevated the level of the profile of the program with what you've accomplished, even though it's only halfway through the season.
When I'm kind of around the entire team and we're all together, you kind of keep it casual. You keep it like, look, this is something proud, that we can be proud of, but it's really nothing because we haven't won anything. We have nothing to show for this yet. It's just good for our fans to be able to witness it, and good for us to be a part of it for the future. But then when I'm around, maybe a smaller group of 2 or 3, whether it be Marcus and Ronnie, or Justin and Taz, or Jordan and Davion and Kobe, this is something special. You guys should appreciate this. I'm appreciating it now, and so you enjoy it, but in the day, it's what drives you also to come out and compete. You might not ever get a chance to play in a game like this. Some might never ever get to do it. So to say you gave your all in a 13-0 battle and came out on top is going to be just a great feeling for yourself.
Everybody's hype. We've been kind of thinking about it after we beat Seton Hall. Everybody was just kind of hyped, like, yo, take care of business, everybody get rest. Yesterday's practice was pretty good. We were hyped, so we had to calm us down a little bit. We were kind of going a little too hard, but I think everybody's ready, and we're pumped.
What is you being from Omaha, I guess, growing up where this city's never really had a matchup like this? What does it mean to you personally?
I honestly don't know. I'm just ready, for tomorrow. Hopefully, the fans are into it. But being from Omaha, there's a lot of rivals in Omaha, in high school. So it's probably just like another rival, big game, a lot of people, and just focus, Everybody just focus, come in, do what they got to do, take care of business.
I think he prides himself on, being a stopper and trying to lock guys down. I guess how excited are you for, John Jordan and all the hype he's getting coming in?
I'm really excited to play against him. He's really good. He just had like 37. So, him, being a hot shooter for Villanova this year, it's going to be fun guarding him and playing against him and competing against him.
Did you get to guard him much last year? I didn't know how much.
A little bit. I started off guarding him, then ended up with guarding Archie. But I guarded him most of the time last year, so that was pretty cool.
What about his game makes him the most difficult?
He kind of does everything. He's a very good defender. He can score. He rebounds a lot. He runs the floor a lot. He's kind of an all-around player, if you ask me. He's really good. He's their go-to guy this year, so he's really good.
What is the hardest part about stopping them? When you look at them on tape, what stands out to you the most about them?
Oh, they're just like they're very disciplined. They move the ball extremely well. They snap the ball across the floor. They don't give up any bad shots really. They're fundamentally sound. They know everything, and they're just real good. So
I guess he didn't really miss last year. Hart, or any of the shots he took.
Yeah,
what do you remember about? I don't know the way
Hart,
they were efficient?
he was just easy. He wasn't doing too much, but he was doing enough to beat us. Obviously, he didn't have the ball a lot, but he always just had the ball at the right moments and scoring left and right, and he just had a very good game.
What do you think this place is gonna be like?
I think it's gonna be packed. I already know it is. I got a lot of people. I'm gonna be there. I'm like, all right, cool. Be loud. I guess. And I feel like it's going to be packed. It's going to be real packed.
Did you guys feed off that? I mean, I think of the Wisconsin game and other home games you've had where.
Me, not really. I'm just trying to win, man. I really don't try to focus on the crowd. But for the guys, I already know they were into it already. They've been talking about it and stuff. So we're pumped. We're pumped. We're excited.
24 hours ahead of time.
These are games you dream about as a kid, watching number 9 team versus number 1 team in the country. So I'm very excited. I'm very anxious to get on the court.
What is it about Villanova that you guys are most focused on, I guess, going on this one?
They're the most fundamental team we're going to play. They're going to do very disciplined things, and we have to be very disciplined for 40 minutes because that's what they're going to do. So we're going to have to be just as smart as them, but still play our game.
When you look at it on tape, what to you is the hardest part about stopping this team?
Defending them for 30 minutes. They have so many guys that can score in many different ways, and you're so worried about Josh Hart all the time that other guys such as Bridges comes in and gets buckets for them. So, we just have to stay focused and stick to our game plan. I feel if we do that, we'll succeed.
How about yourself? How tough was it, having to sit out and then getting back in? It looks like you've gotten right in the rhythm.
Oh yeah, it was definitely tough. Never sitting out. I've never sat out my whole career, so sitting out for the first time was definitely hard. But I've learned a lot, and then watching this team play, I already seen we were a good team, and I just was able to see how I could fit in and help this team become better.
Just for you, I mean, you're a scorer, a shooter. You can kind of get yourself into a rhythm by taking shots. But how much have you learned of what is a good shot, what isn't a good shot, and are you still kind of progressing in that?
Yeah, definitely still learning about taking better shots. I think overall it's become way better than since I've been at Kansas State. And I think just keep watching film and watching over and over, I think I'll even take better shots and it'll make my percentages go way up.
Coach Mack said that he's really never coached a guy like you, just the volume scorer type, and a guy who can make tough shots. How much have you sat down with him and sort of kind of gone back and forth and talked about what you can do and what you can't do?
Definitely earlier in the season it's definitely kind of hard because he's never seen somebody like me. I'll just shoot in somebody's face and whenever and wherever. So he's definitely never seen anything like it. So, sometimes I have to tell him, I can make that shot. It's something I do all the time. And I think when he sees it in the game, he starts to see the shots I am going to make. So I think he's definitely getting more confident in some of the shots I take.
How tough is it to kind of have to, prove it? Coach obviously thinks he knows this is the best shot to take. You feel comfortable with something else. I mean, how many shots do you have to make like that to kind of prove it to Coach that you can do it?
A lot, really. But, Coach Mack, he's an open-minded person. He's always telling me, if you're in the gym working on it or I see you constantly doing something in your game, and I'm going to let you do it. So as long as I keep working on my game and keep working on those tough shots in practices, then he's going to allow me to do it, and I'll keep making them. Honestly, that's all I've been thinking about defensively. In order to beat this team, we're going to have to get stops. I think if we end up trading baskets with them, I think they'll end up winning the game. So defense has definitely been on my mind, especially after my last defensive points with Seton Hall. So I think I'll be more mentally prepared for this defense. Honestly, last night before I went to bed, I told myself, don't stay down on shots, don't jump. So that's a lot going into their game plan. They like to get you up, sometimes take 3 or 4 shot fakes just to get a shot before they put a shot up.
You came to Creighton. You obviously wanted to play on a stage like this, but what did you expect? Did you expect to be a top 10 team and then have a shot at a number 1 here to really cement your guys' stake as a Big East champion? Contender?
Honestly, we expected this. This is the spot we want to be at, undefeated going into this game, knowing this game is a very big game, biggest game I've ever played in my career. So this is definitely what we expected, and we're happy that we can be able to be in this moment right now. It's going to be something we can remember for the rest of our lives.
How did you react to sort of the idea that you guys are doing a lot of things that maybe this program hasn't been done before?
It's kind of weird. When we do the things we're doing, we don't even think about it. We just keep on moving forward because we want to do so much more and keep on progressing and getting better as a team.